second European Cup. Real Madrid going for their 15th. Amazing. Saturday at 8 o'clock. So it's going to be interesting game, Paul. I think I always feel that when we get to this stage, most people think Real Madrid's name is on the trophy. I don't know if you saw it, Paul, but the semi-final against Bayern Munich, where Real Madrid made a great comeback. They got 2 goals in 3 minutes, and they sort of fell over the line. After the game, they put on shirts that had the number 15 on them. They're all clapping around the stadium for their fans. Now, another would think that's a bit footballs can be very superstitious sometimes. Something like if you see a team doing like that, it might be if the Dortmund player saw that, they might be thinking, no, listen, they might put up against the wall in the dressing room and say, look, they think they've won already. I find Madrid in this competition, Paul, they just have a knack of every time. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they did it for the 14th as well against Liverpool, where they put on the shirts of number 14 on their back and salute. I just find that when we get to this stage, no matter what happens, Real Madrid always find a way to win it. And I feel I would love Dortmund, but I feel at this stage of the competition, particularly in the final, they haven't lost the Champions League final since it was revamped in 1992. I think to every final they've played, they've won them. If I'm not mistaken, Paul, I think I have to go back to the 80s since Real Madrid last lost the European Cup final. I don't know if it was Liverpool. You might be able to help me out on this
Liverpool beat them in 1981 anyway. They beat Real Madrid. I'm open to correction, the 1981 final.
Was that at Wembley, Paul, by any chance?
I don't know what was. No, I can't tell you that. It might have been. It doesn't matter, but Liverpool beat them in the final anyway. So it's a long time ago. They have a great record in the finals.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing is the historical people involved in the club in the background will remember them things being there, and the current players, they're obviously all new players, but they can draw off that as well. We said, so, and of course Real Madrid, they're favoured. Like in Spain, we'll say you go back about 20 years ago, they were bankrupt, and what they did was if the banks had pulled the plug, Real Madrid was gone. But of course the banks wouldn't do it, and they came up to some financial kind of an agreement. They sold their training ground and leased it back, and do you know what I mean? If there were another club, the banks would have pulled the plug and they were gone. So it seems that they're too big to fail anyway. So we just wonder now they're going to get decisions to 50-50 calls. I just don't know. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I find if we just look back on the football side of it, we'll just take let's just talk about a little bit about Dortmund and their semi-final. Brilliant win over PSG. Winning the first leg, of course, 1-0 at home. Good, and probably should have scored more goals. Now, obviously, PSG had their chances to. I think they hit the post 2 or 3 times in the first leg. Second leg, their defense was brilliant. It was like style Italian defense, you could say. Just every man working for each other. Brilliant defense, and got the goal. I think he was outstanding in the 2 legs, Paul. To be honest with you, I thought he was rolling back at the ears. He's showing on now in age, but he was absolutely brilliant. Got the second leg to make it 1-0, and they went through 2-0 overall in aggregate. They've got a player, funny enough, Chelsea player on loan, left back. He's been from this season. They've also got Jadon Sancho, who was on loan for Manchester United. Fell out with Everton famously. Didn't really have a connection with him, to be honest, which I didn't. Manchester United was very, very poor. He's starting to turn his career since the January loan system, and he's in the European Cup final as well. So they have players, definitely have players that can hurt Real Madrid. But I feel though that, as I said earlier on, when we get to this stage, Real Madrid find a way. In the 2 European Cup finals they've last played, funny enough, against Liverpool, I felt certainly in the first half of that final in 2018, I think it was, that Liverpool were probably the better team. I think they got their first goal, and then Liverpool equalised, but then of course Bale got 2 goals, and of course Karius made two howlers in that game. And then in the last, Courtois was magnificent in that final. So as I said, they just have a knack, Paul, of just finding a way to win. But they're not playing very well. They hang in the second leg, for example, against Manchester City. Real Madrid played a style of football that wouldn't be custom to them. They sat back against Manchester City, they let City on to them, and they hit on the counter attack and defended very well. Now, to be fair, I think Manchester City missed a host of chances as well that helped them out. But Ancelotti is now this weekend going for the European Cup winners' medal as a manager. I mean, he's won it twice with Real Madrid. He's won it twice with AC Milan. He's gone for 5. Nobody in the modern era, Paul, anyway, nobody can touch him in terms of success in the Champions League. I think
No, has he coached before? I know he won it back in the day with AC Milan as a player, and has he coached teams before to win it? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, he won. Yeah, he's won 2 European Cups for Real Madrid. He won it in 2014. A few years later, then they sacked him, and they brought in Zidane. No, sorry, they brought in, I think it was Benitez, and then they brought in Zidane. But he came back there a couple of years ago, and he won up beating Liverpool. Now, obviously, they got hammered against Manchester City last season, but he made up for that this season, beating them on penalties. So he's going for his 5th European Cup. He won it in 2000 with AC Milan in a 0-0 board draw against Juventus, the one on penalties in Old Trafford. And of course, he beat Liverpool in 2007, making up for the disaster you would see at the final in 2005. So he's an exceptional coach. We had him, of course, at Chelsea. He won the 2010.
And I know, did he also manage Everton? Am I mistaken there? No.
Can you say that again?
Did he ever manage Everton? No. Am I getting?
He did. Yeah, he managed Everton. He managed Everton in between the 2 stints of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think he did a season. If I'm not mistaken, season. He definitely didn't do more than 2 in it. Either a season or 2 with Everton.
Yeah.
And he got the Real Madrid job in when they came calling. So
yeah,
it's amazing that he's been everywhere, Paul. He's won 4 domestic leagues, if I'm not mistaken. He's won the Spanish league, he's won the German league, he's won the French league, and he's won the Italian league.
Yeah.
So he's a brilliant manager, and he's very much a man manager. I don't think Ancelotti is too in depth the way Pep would be in tactics. He's a man manager. Players want to play for him. I don't think he overloads the players with a lot of information that they can't understand. I think he's a good old school type of a manager, and I think he's with players big time.
Yeah.
So I think he's an exceptional manager. There's proof in the pudding. He's won 4 European Cups as a manager. So
and he was a top player as well, of course.
As a player as well, I think with AC Milan as well, Paul.
Yeah.
He is top player, very good player. So unfortunately, I didn't see much of him playing.
Yeah, he signed back from Milan in the top team, back with the 3 Dutch players. He was involved in that team. He played with Italy. They were an exceptional team. So he's always been there and that. But you should have to change on to management and coaching is a different, you know what I mean? So great players in the past haven't done it, but he's managed to do it himself.
Oh, big time, Paul, big time. And look, we have to say Dortmund have had enough season, Paul. They finished 5th in the German league. Now, normally that wouldn't have been good enough for the place in the Champions League for next season, but because of the coefficient, Italy did very well this season. Obviously, Dortmund been in the final, Munich were in the semi-final, and Italy and obviously the other competitions as well, the Conference League and the Europa League, all the teams that were in it. So Italy and Germany got the 2 coefficient spots, so they have 5 places for next season. And Atalanta, of course, won the
Europa League.
Europa League and Dortmund the finals. These 2 teams, Europa League. So these 2 teams would have been not Dortmund, for example, if coefficient would have to win this final just to be in it for next season. But they do have that comfort zone now of that they are in the Champions League final. Sorry, they're in the Champions League for next season, no matter what. They could look. Everybody is expecting Real Madrid to win. I think you find it very hard for pundits to call it for Borussia Dortmund.
No, can I come in there? Dortmund won 1 final back in 1997. They played Juventus in the final. They were underdogs. Now in the semi-final, they beat Manchester United 1-0 home and away. Manchester United were a top team, then won it 2 years later. But in the final against Juventus, they were complete underdogs, and they came out and they beat them convincingly 3-1 and fully deserved to beat them. It wasn't a fluke. So they won't be afraid of it, and they have to. I know that's a long time ago, but they won't be afraid of it. Now the question is, will they be good enough? I think they'll have to be better than Madrid on the night to win it. It's a 50-50 they won't do, because Madrid seem to get all these decisions Like, there was a final
Yeah.
a few years ago, Madrid were playing Atletico Madrid. There was about 12 minutes of injury time. Atletico were 1-0 up, and in almost the last free kick, they switched off and they got a goal from a corner kick or a free kick. Real Madrid
Yeah.
did it the next time. That if they're 1-0 down, there's no going to be 1-0 up in the 95th, 96th minute. That's no good. They'll play 10, 12, 13 minutes of injury time, you know?
Yeah, I definitely do think that Madrid, it's a pressure from the Madrid fans as well, Paul, the referees, and referees are all human as well. They might like of all mistakes, even talk about the semi-final there, spilling a simple shot of all. He was having a fantastic game. Nathan Hoslu, of all strikers, I think he's on loan from Espanyol. I don't think he's even a fully Real Madrid player. Who Hoslu, he was at Newcastle and Stoke, Paul, and no beating about Borussia, but he was absolutely hopeless. But he's done well. He's done well for Real Madrid this season. It's amazing actually, because I thought, and many people thought, when Benzema left, they're having a lot of players, Paul. They're there for the last. They're going to the well an awful lot. Modric, 37, Toni Kroos, I think, is retiring after the Euros. I think he's retiring fully from football after the Euros. They've got a few players there that have been around a long time, but they all out of them just to get by. I think Madrid is going for his 6th European Cup, if I'm not mistaken. No, they are just a machine in Europe, Paul, to be quite honest with you. But having said that, on the game, look, it can go Dortmund's way if they get a bit of luck. Refereeing decision that might be against Real Madrid, you never know. But I would love Dortmund to win, because I just think the underdogs. People sometimes get sick of the same teams winning over again. Real Madrid, particularly in a final. I've never seen Real Madrid lose a European Cup final, for example. So it's going to be a tough ask for Dortmund to defend very, very well in the Champions League this season. I think they've got the best defense. Any big chance, major chance they get, Paul, they take it, because Real Madrid will not let you off the hook when they get them. They're ruthless, Paul. To be honest with you, they're like, you see what happened to Munich. Munich were up literally 2-3 minutes. No, I wouldn't say Munich's heads were gone, but Real Madrid just smelled blood, got the corner, and Rudiger plays a good ball into. It's flagged offside, goes to VAR. It's proven that he's onside, and game over. Real Madrid are in the final. So it literally can go that way. And like you said yourself, Paul, if they're 1-0 up, they cannot switch off. They would have to. I think Dortmund would have to be prepared to play nearly, like you said, on nearly 100 minutes in this final, Paul. Because Real Madrid, they do get the decisions. They do. They always do. They always get that bit of luck, Paul, too. I remember 2 years ago when they went last one to Champions League, that's the mistakes other teams made, PSG made, Chelsea, my own club, we made some horrific mistakes. We were punished. Liverpool had chance after chance in the final, and Vince Colin saying to me, they're just haunted to just get over the line. They always seem to get a bit of luck, and they always seem to get the job done. Now, normally you would think that when that many chances, that eventually they get punished, but for some reason, Real Madrid sometimes just have to hold on that trophy, as you see there.
Okay, no, just
they
before we
always
finish
get over
up.
the line.
Yeah, sorry enough for cutting the question. Can you just call it before we move on?
I think Madrid will probably edge it. I think it'll be closer than many people might think. I think Dortmund will give it a right good go, but I feel Madrid will win it 2-1, Paul.